Yes, it's Tales from the Jails with John G. Sutton. Do please like and subscribe, if you will. Be so kind. There's a link down there. It's very kind of you. Anyway, don't forget, on the first Tuesday in March, here, we're going to do a live broadcast at 7 p.m. And today I've had a request for me to talk about drug addiction in prisons and how they were treated back in the 70s and 80s when I was a hospital officer there. Well, to start with, there wasn't the big drugs problem in the prisons that there is today. Back then it was mainly alcohol and tobacco, and that was about it really. Obviously you did have people coming in who were addicted to drugs, and they were automatically cold turkey, no doubt about that. There was no methadone or any such gentle treatments offered. You were straight in cold turkey, and if you cracked up, you were picked up by a couple of big boys, maybe as many as it needed, and were flung into a padded cell, a stripped cell often, and you were left there until you had come down. There have recently been court cases because people who are drug addicts were not offered the medication that they were receiving when they came into prison, i.e. methadone. But back in the 70s and 80s, it was absolutely no way were you getting anything like that. All you were getting was a cell. Now the big problem is, as people who are familiar with coming down from addiction, is that you have reactions. And of course the prisons were vastly overcrowded. I mean, today Strangeways holds about 900 inmates, I believe. Back in the 1970s, when I was there, we had at one time 2,000 prisoners in Strangeways. And it was built in 1868 to hold 975 prisoners. So it was double that. And there were people sleeping on the floors. There was that many prisoners in the prison that we ran out of cells, ran out of beds. We had to get mattresses in. We put the mattresses down in the gymnasium, and the inmates slept on the floor. And still the POA didn't do anything. They just allowed it to happen. There has recently been problems at Durham where the prison officers are saying that it's unfit, it's dangerous to work there. And what are the POA doing? Nothing. I mean, back in the 70s I did make an attempt to form a trade union that would be representative of the non-supervisory grade prison staff. And if I was running the union and charged them, which I was for a time, although we didn't succeed, I would have just said to the governor, you've got 48 hours and then we aren't working here any longer. We're going to the gate. And if they did that right across the prison system, well, that would have worked. Whether it would work today, I don't know, because I believe that there is legislation and the prison staff have been prevented from taking strike action. In a way, obviously, it's for the security of the country, and there are many, many more dangerous prisoners today than there were in the 70s. So anyway, let me get back. I digressed there, but let me get back to the drug addiction problem. Yeah, so we weren't having all the drugs smuggled in, but we were certainly getting people coming in to prison who were addicted. And as I said, what would happen is when the first day that you were admitted to prison, you were seen by a hospital officer, somebody like myself, who would say to you straight away, when you come in, all the prisoners used to be in a collected cell, a big open cell, and up to about 20 inmates admitted in a night. And I just used to go in there and shout, right, you've got pox, clap, anything you've got, diabetes, whatever it is, you come and tell me immediately and I'll deal with that. And if anybody came in and they said they were drug addicts and that they were on methadone, I'd say, right, okay, you'll see the doctor in a minute, you can tell him, but I'm telling you what to do. And what you will do is report sick in the morning, and we'll put you before the duty doctor, and we'll see what you get then. I absolutely knew what they were going to get. Nothing. But my duty was not to make that decision. My duty was to actually make sure that the decision was made on their behalf by the qualified medical doctors, which they did, but I never saw not one inmate receive any kind of palliative treatment like methadone or anything else. Didn't even get painkillers. They got told to get out and deal with it and go cold turkey. Some of them really cracked up. Of course, one of the big problems was these people, first they come into the prison, they're put into cells, and because it was vastly overcrowded, they'd be put into a cell with 2 other inmates. Now, they're coming down off drugs, and they were high as kites when they came in. So during the period of the next 24 hours, they would be suffering terrible withdrawal symptoms. And they're in a cell with 2 other inmates who've got no idea what's going on. They wouldn't know if the cellmate was suffering from withdrawal symptoms or just plain crazy. The worst one I saw, and this is something that you probably not experienced yourself, is somebody coming down from alcoholism. Seriously. I've seen people coming down off all kinds of addictions, but the very worst one was alcoholism. Seriously. My brother rang me up, and I was at home, and I said, what's up? Martin, my brother's name, was a detective inspector with the Greater Manchester Police. And he said, I've got a friend who's been admitted to prison. He's a publican, and I don't know if he was fiddling his VAT or something like that, but anyway, he ended up getting 6 months or something. He said, would you go and see him and make sure he's all right? Because he said, he's all right, he's made a mistake here and he's in prison, but he's a very nice guy, really, and he's a friend of mine. So if you just go and see if he's all right. So I said, I will do that, Martin. Of course I will. So he gave me his name, and the next day I went to see this guy, and he was in a cell, and he was in a cell on his own, by the way. Whoever his cellmates were had gone to work or wherever they'd gone. So I said to him, I've come to see you, make sure you're all right. My name's John Sutton, and I believe you know my brother Martin. Martin Sutton, yeah, I know Martin Sutton. He said, come in, have a drink. Come on, John. I said, we'll have a drink here. He actually thought he was in a pub, and he thought the water that he was pouring me into a cup was beer. He was absolutely didn't know where he was. He didn't know if he was in Strangeways or Timbuktu. He hadn't got a clue. And it took him about a week to come round to get it out of his system. And it was driving him up the wall, by the way, because he just hadn't got a clue he was in prison. So yeah, that was a really strange thing, that. Alcoholism, yeah. So yeah, they didn't have the drugs in the jails when I was there, not the way that they have now, but we did have the drug addicts, and every single one of them went cold turkey, and it drove them absolutely wild. Didn't kill any, but they certainly changed their outlook. It's that time of day, folks. Oh, and by the way, if Larry's watching, thank you very much for that little review of Professor Dr. Daddy Magumba, PhD. It's a comedy. A song dinger. And I'm going to sing to you now. In fact, here's a little treat for you. And I know you, the people are gone already. But if you're still hanging around, I'm going to do some yodeling for you. How about that? I never tried that before. Well, the guy who asked me to sing, somebody made a request for me to sing the Canoe Song by Paul Robeson. I can't do it. Anyway, that was a little sample of it. And this is a song by Hank Williams. I'll do my best with this. It's going to be bad. So if you're sensitive, I suggest you bugger off immediately. This is Lovesick Blues. I got a feeling called the blue, lonesome my baby said goodbye. Lord, I don't know what I do. All I do is sit and cry. The last long day she said goodbye. Well, Lord, I thought I would cry. She'll do me, she do you, she got that kind of loving. Lord, I love to hear her when she call me sweet baby. Such a beautiful dream. I hate to think it's all over. I lost my heart, it seems. I've grown so used to you somehow. But I'm nobody's sugar daddy now, and I'm lonesome. I got the lovesick blues. Well, I'm in love with a beautiful gal. That's what's the matter with me. Well, I'm in love with a beautiful gal, but she don't care about me. Lord, I tried to keep her satisfied, but she just wouldn't stay. So now that she is leaving, this is all I can say. I got a feeling called the blue, lonesome my baby said goodbye. And I don't know what I'll do. Oh, I'll ought to sit and sigh. The last long day she said goodbye. Well, Lord, I thought I would cry. I'll do me, she took you, she got a kind of loving. Lord, I love to hear her when she call me sweet baby. Such a beautiful dream. I had to think it's all over. I lost my heart, it seems. But I've grown so used to you somehow. I'm nobody's sugar daddy now. I'm lonesome. I got the lovesick blues. Well, if you're hanging around now, I bet you've got the blues too. It won't be lovesick blues though, will it? It'll be sick of them psychic John G. Sutton Tales from the Jails blues. Tales from the Jails, folks. I will see you all, don't forget, the first Tuesday in March.